Someone is asking, do Dynamic Camber Mounts need aftermarket coilover or can fit stock shocks? All of our Dynamic Plus camber mounts, like the one you see here, will work with a stock suspension. And if you haven't noticed, we're big fans of the stock shocks and struts from the factory. They're quite good. Unlike in the 80s, the shocks that cars came with were pretty crappy. In the Mark 1, Mark 2 era, the stock suspensions were very wallowy and they were pretty cheap shocks. Nowadays, a lot of these cars have mag ride or the other adjustable shock technology from Bosch, where the valving changes inside. I forget.
DCC.
Is that DCC?
I think that's the.
Some of the cars have that. Some of the cars have the mag ride. Those are very good, high quality shocks. Better than what we've seen in the aftermarket in the past. And so we always work to make our suspension components work around those factory stock shocks. They have good dampening, and they can deliver more performance than typically how the factory tunes the springs and the rest of the suspension. So yeah, and then they will work with any aftermarket coilover that works with a factory style strut top.
Yeah, and I think we found, especially on the U.S. Market cars, a lot of these shock combos are actually a little over dampened for the springs that they end up setting up with in the U.S. market. Mm-hmm. So it's generally you get a little better ride going to a slightly stiffer spring.
That's right. Yeah,
more optimized height.
Our Dynamic Plus springs, the feedback generally and what we found is that there's really no detriment to ride quality. In fact, the cars, the car gets less bouncy and less wallowy, and rides actually better, like how you'd want it to from the factory. So